Long days, pleasant nights, and welcome to Kingslingers, a Doof Media podcast journeying through Stephen King's Dark Tower series and beyond. I am your host, Scott Daly, and joining me is my co-host, slicing her worm eyes off in a bandsaw, it's Kim C. How's it going today, Kim?
Hello, everyone. It is what you do.
Yeah, but you're fine afterwards. It didn't actually do anything.
No, right as rain. No issues.
We are here today to discuss episode 4 of HBO's It: Welcome to Derry. I said I was going to do it every time, and I wasn't kidding. This episode is entitled The Great Swirling Apparatus of Our Planet's Function, which is a reference to parasitic snail eye worms, or Marge's new best friends, as we can call it. Kim, before we get into the episode itself and get into all the details we have to talk about, how you feeling? Episode 4, we're officially halfway through the show. How you feeling about this one?
I am uncomfortably uncomfortable. I'm kind of stuck, Scott. I enjoyed lots to commend in this episode, but I think the areas of issue were enough to cancel out the good a little bit. So I feel like I'm sitting in a puddle of neutral because I have new questions, and then all the questions have made me sort of cancel out the it feels messy, and it's not as satisfying as last week's episode.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I feel like I'm in a pretty similar place where, like, I think the highs are very high for me and the lows feel just very, very low. And some of this, honestly, we'll get into detail in a second, but a lot of this I just chalk up to personal taste sometimes. Like, I'm just not a person that really cares to have the mythology of Pennywise's origin really fleshed out in a lot of detail. Like, that's not why I enjoy the It novel. Was not my, like, I think the smoke hut scene in the book is good. I enjoyed it, but like the learning the Pennywise origin stuff was never my favorite part about the book. And I tend to like my eldritch horrors as vague as possible. So any episode that centers on like really putting pen to paper about the details of the mythology of our creature is never going to be like my favorite thing. I guess there's definitely stuff to talk about and how they execute on that, and in ways which I thought it did work despite my general disinterest in that topic as a whole. And I can totally see why people like it. Like I was perusing the internet and seeing some people's reaction to this episode, and the people, like, I saw one comment where someone was like, you know, I've never read the book. I watched the first 2 movies, and like all I wanted was like more information on where Pennywise came from, and this episode just delivered. And I was like, okay, I guess if that's really what you wanted, you got it. You definitely got it. But you know, to each their own, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's some character stuff that I continue to really, really love. Dick Halloran continues to be a star. I love all of the Hanlons now, every single one. I actually really am enjoying the kids, at least their performances and their characters, a lot. And then there's just some other stuff that I'm just like head scratching type stuff. So yeah, I think I'm with you. I feel like every episode we go in with so much positive, and then we really start getting into the negative stuff, and it feels like we're piling on, because it's like there's no middle ground for me with this show. It's like I'm extreme in either direction. I love it, and I really don't I don't want to use the word hate, but I really don't like a lot of it too. So man, it's a weird place to be.
I feel so seen. Thank you, Scott. I really do feel so close to that, so similar. Like, this is amazing, this is awful, this is great, this is the worst. There is very little gray area. It is on, off, black, white, and that's a hard place to be sometimes.
Yeah I think so as we get into the episode, which was written by Helen Shang and directed by Andrew Bernstein, this is his second and I believe final episode of the season that he's going to direct. I think we should note that there was a little bit of issues in the production of this show, which is they had filmed, I believe both the Muschietti said about 90% of the principal photography for the first 3 episodes was shot, and then the writer's strike happened, and that basically shut down production while the strike was going on. And by the time they picked production back up again, a lot of their very young children who are right in the middle of puberty and adolescence, and this great big huge change had changed. So if you're paying very close attention, especially if you're like binging the show, I think you're going to definitely notice between episode 3 and episode 4, there's a pretty distinct change in some of these characters. I think little Will Hanlon definitely grew up. he's much taller. I think same with Ronnie Grogan. She looks much older. I think the only one that like I couldn't tell the difference was Little Rich, because I think he's just a tiny little guy, and even half a year older, he still looks about the same. But man, that was I knew that going into the episode, so I think it allowed it to like not surprise me as much. But did you notice that they're definitely not the same age as they were last time we saw them?
I did, and it was very jarring because it's such some of them. There's not really a great transition for that, because I think, for example, the scene where Leroy and Will are in the river, I think Will is young, but then in other scenes he's not. So that was very tricky. It was very weird. Weird.
There's scenes where like it looks like Will's jeans are just like too short for him, and like I'm not like, there's no way the prop department was like, there's no way we can get jeans that fit this actor. We just can't do it. It's HBO. They could have done it. So I wonder if this was like part of what they're doing here is demonstrating the fact that these kids are in this liminal state. We talked about that last week, and they're growing and changing very rapidly. And so little Will his pants don't even fit him because that's how fast he's growing. I think maybe that's kind of the show steering into the fact that they have this giant gap in filming. This is why, by the way, for a complete tangent, our guy Mike Flanagan, I still don't know how he's going to solve the Jake conundrum in the Dark Tower. Like, I just don't know how he's going to do that. Like, I guess the best thing you can hope for is they age up the character a little bit, and you just get an older actor that can play young, and hope that works. I don't know. Like, it's such an important part of the character that he's in this almost this exact time of his life. Like that matters so much to the character. So I don't know how the hell they're going to do this. That's not thank God, that's not you and I's problem to figure out. Mike's got to figure that out on his own.
Thank heavens. Maybe he could find a family with very close genetic brothers.
He just keeps cycling them out.
All right. We want the 10-year-old brother and the 13-year-old brother, please.
Perfect. All right. So this episode, oh gosh, where do we want to begin?
Oh dear, Scott, I don't know.
I guess maybe let's just begin at the beginning. So we pick up where we left off last week with the kids. They're great, brilliant, take pictures of the ghost plan. They're executing on it by bike riding to the police station and confidently slamming the manila envelope down on Chief Bauer's desk. It's like, haha, we got him. And then
foibled.
Bauer sucks so much that like they really like milked the, oh my God, what is this? And the kids are so happy and so proud of themselves. And then, of course, as you said, the pictures are blank. The ghosts have disappeared. I wonder what you think about this, because there was part of me that wished the show handled it a little bit differently. That when the adults looked at the pictures, they didn't see the ghosts, but then when they handed it back to the kids, they could see it. Like, it's kind of doing the Bev blood bathroom thing we talked about. And like, it's trying to do the same thing, right? It's trying to say like, this is a thing that the adults of Derry just don't notice or can't notice or won't notice. But it definitely, the kids were reacting to the pictures as if the ghosts had just disappeared from them as well. So I don't know. I thought about it doing the other way, and then I kind of talked myself out of it, because I think just like the visual, like showing that visually and making it clear to the viewer that when these three people look at the picture, they see nothing. But when these three people look at the picture, they see something, and that it's not just the adults like fucking with them. Like, I think that's just very difficult to show visually. So I kind of understand why they didn't do it that way. But I don't know. What did you think of this, the way the show handled this?
I agree. I think it was okay that there was a light touch. And I think you put it perfectly, where it encapsulates more of how I'm feeling about this episode. Like, in my brain, I thought, I want it to happen like this.
Yeah.
This would be cool. And then they don't do it like that. And then I'm questioning it. And then I accept it. And then I'm constantly doing that the entire episode. So this is a great example of that. Is I think they could have went in one direction and made a big deal about it. And it really zoomed in on the photo and showed how the city of Derry, or Pennywise, is bamboozling them. And the kids see it and the adults don't see it at all, but they wanted to move on. They wanted to cover other things, get to different ground. And so I'm like, okay, it's okay that it was very quickly cast to the side.
Yeah. We needed to do new, exciting things, like, for example, make Lily Bainbridge seem crazy. And because we've never done that in the show before, ever.
First time.
Poor Lily, man. Like, I know we talked about this after the second episode, but Jesus, we're just gonna hit this. We're gonna hit this beat again and again and again, where we're just gonna make her seem crazy and unhinged, and have the threat of Juniper Hill hanging over her head. How many more times can we do this? Right? It's just like, I actually quite enjoyed the Marge stuff in this episode. I liked it a whole lot. I liked it as much as I disliked Marge. But I just like the idea that once again we're playing this card that's going to be like, oh, everyone's going to think Lily Bainbridge is crazy, and it's like, we've done this like 3 times already. Are we going to do it? Like, is she going to get sent to Juniper Hill again after this episode, and then in the next episode she'll be released again, and then we're just going to do it again and again and again? Man.
Poor Lily, I tell you. But yeah, it's we got it, writers. We're aware she's been to Juniper Hill a couple times now.
Speaking of, we have Madeline Stowe returning as the housekeeper from Juniper Hill. She gets a name this week. Her name is Ingrid, and she's totally evil. She's completely evil, right? Please tell me you agree with me on this.
10,000% from the pits of hell, Scott.
So, like, I mean, it was interesting because I went back and listened to our conversation on that scene last week, and I think we were picking up on weirdness, because I think we both talked about how unsettling and weird that scene was. It didn't seem to fit Juniper Hill. It didn't fit, like, why is this woman being so nice and friendly to her? Like, it felt diametrically opposed to everything we had seen in the rest of Juniper Hill and everything we understood about her experience in Juniper Hill. And so that was confusing us. And in retrospect, maybe that's exactly the emotion they were trying to convey with that scene. They were trying to make us confused and unsettled, but we're not really sure why. And I think this scene really declares that definitively, because once again, we have her sitting down with Ingrid, and Ingrid is saying all the good things. She's saying, no, like, you're doing great. Trust in your friends. Stick together. Seek the solution. Go out there and find it. And then you realize, hey, wait a minute. You're telling her to go investigate the disappearance of children? That's a weird thing to tell a young girl to do. Why are you telling her that? And then I don't know if you noticed the way the shot was filmed, which is like, this is almost like textbook of like how you convey tension and uncertainty without like drawing attention to it. So the shot is, it's a shot reverse shot, which is very normal for television. But when we see Lily in the shot, we also see Lily's reflection on the mirror, because they're sitting in a booth next to like a mirrored surface, and we see Lily's reflection in that mirrored surface. But every time we cut to Ingrid, we don't see her reflection in the mirror surface. The camera is angled just so, or it's either camera angle, or it's the placement of Lily's head in the scene, or a combination of both, that we never, ever, ever see Ingrid's reflection. And I'm not saying that, like, if we saw Ingrid's reflection, it would be a clown. I'm just saying, like, this is a way that it creates tension in a scene where there shouldn't be any. Like, you should have no reason for feeling uncomfortable, but like subconsciously your brain is like, there's something not right here, and it's because you've established from this angle we see things a certain way, from this angle we see things differently, and our brain clocks that. Our brains are very smart and very intelligent, and why is this happening this way? I feel uncomfortable. And that, like, even if you didn't catch that specific thing, that's exactly what's happening in the scene.
That is such a great observation. I missed that completely. I really enjoyed this scene. I've been doing a bit of interneting, and I'm latching on to the theory that Ingrid is Mrs. Kirsch,
Mhm.
mein Vater. But no, in this scene, I was super distracted by their cups, Scott, like an idiot. Because this is a great story, I promise. But the cups they're using, I don't know how they did that. But my grandpa, who served in the Navy for decades, had those cups
Oh.
in the kitchen from the Navy. He got them from the Navy. And so I haven't seen that cup in a really long time. And so I kind of had a like a flashback to being at my grandparents' house and like, where did they get those cups? And then I've rewatched the episode a few times trying to zero in on that scene. And unfortunately, I just look at the cups. So thank you. Thank you for breaking down what an awesome filming technique I missed.
Yeah, I think you pointed out my father, and I think in both scenes, Ingrid has said, well, my father said this, and definitely setting us up for something there. I don't ultimately know, like, what we're, like, a lot of people are just like, this is Pennywise, like, this is it. And I don't know if I think that's true. I'm leaning towards no. I'm leaning, like Mrs. Kirsch, the Mrs. Kirsch we saw in It Chapter 2 was just Pennywise. It was just Pennywise taking the form of something. I think this is just a human being that is either recruited, like, okay, my theory is this is the little girl we saw in the clown makeup in 1908. That's my current theory. This is the girl grown up, and she is working with or for or part of this whole thing in some way or another, and is out there encouraging the little children to go off on their own and seek out the truth, which involves them going down in the sewer. Nothing bad ever happens in the sewer. So
totally correct.
So you are you on the same page that it's the, I think someone on these Reddit sleuths are incredible. Someone found the Instagram page for the little girl who played the clown in last week's episode, and because she posted pictures of herself in full clown makeup, and she in her caption said the name of the character was Periwinkle, or something like that, which has the same first and last letter as Pennywise, but we don't have to get into that part of it. But I also think that the clown we've been seeing in the show so far is that person, because like I did a lot of pause game on this week's episode. I was playing with the pause button a lot, and when Will sees the clown through his telescope, that clown is not in Pennywise hair get up. It is the sombrero that you joked about in the picture. Like it is the little girl in the clown makeup we saw has like white, like big tufts of hair on the side and on the top, and it was in that scene through the telescope, it was white tufts of hair. So I think the show has been like trick. You said in the very first episode, and I think in the second episode, the show is tricking us. The show is tricking us, and I think once again the show is tricking us. We are being led to believe this clown is Pennywise, but I don't think it is. I think this is something else, and what that is, I'm not even going to predict. I don't think Periwinkle is Pennywise. I think they're different, even if they're in league together. I think they're different, but I think we're being tricked because everyone expects the clown. And I think the show is leaning into, oh, you expect to see the clown, so we're going to show you a clown, and your brain is just going to assume it's the clown you're thinking about. But it's not.
I like this so much. Oh my gosh. I love this, Scott, because I don't know where my head was at. Clearly many different places, because with our clown sighting this week, I thought to myself, what kind of Chinese knockoff do we have going here? Like, this is the Shein Temu Pennywise for what is going? This is Temu Pennywise. What is happening? And so I think I was disgruntled by that. Like, what the hell? Like, this is a very high production show. What are they doing here? And circling back to that, we should not trust this show. Don't trust anyone. They are screwing with us. But I like that it could be this grown-up periwinkle.
Yeah.
That's huge. Oh, that smooths over that wrinkle real well. I like that a lot.
I think my question would be to what ultimate purpose, though? Like this might be one of those things where like demand, like almost like a dualistic demand changes how the show has to handle things. Because I think I was trying to remember, like, I read all about the production of this show many times, and I feel like they got Skarsgård like late. Like that he originally had not signed on to do the show, and they had already started principal photography of the show, and then he came on pretty late, which is like they had to pay him a shit ton of money because obviously he's the face of this thing and all the marketing has his face in it. But you wonder if like they're like, okay, we got to shoot. We can either do something to like make it look like Pennywise, or we can come up with another solution that explains why we haven't seen the Pennywise in the show. And it feels like that's what they did. And the hope here is ultimately that they found a way to write it in an interesting way that like it makes sense and like does something. Like I talk about this a lot on other shows, that sometimes limitations like breed creativity, and that like we can't do it this way, so we have to come up with a solution, and that solution actually creates something cool and exciting and new that you never would have done it that way. I hope that's what we're doing here ultimately. I hope that it's like, oh, we had to do this, and it actually became this really cool, new, exciting idea. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, that's definitely not Pennywise. In conclusion, not my clown.
Timu Pennywise. I like this, and I wonder, you mentioned for what purpose would we have this sort of stand-in Pennywise? Do you think it could be, if it is Periwinkle or some other assistant there, if it's like the Renfield to Dracula, sort of the Pied Piper, if you will?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, we're doing a lot in the show with Pennywise being contained in ways that are different from obviously the movies and the book shown Pennywise contained. So I do wonder if it's a literal, like, Pennywise is trapped in a limited area, and so he needs, like, I mean, that's essentially what the Bowers character served in the novel, right? Is that like there are moments when Pennywise can get you himself, and then there are moments he needs to recruit people to do it for him, and it could ultimately be that. I don't know how that makes sense with the fact that like he is trapped in one area but is still able to like show up in the school and make Marge's eyes grow really big. I don't know how that ties together, but I'm just grabbing at straws here to kind of see if we can come up with a reason for this. I don't know.
I too am very lost. I'm struggling with my questions.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm not struggling about? My girl Marge.
She's half blind.
My favorite character in the show. I kind of got this wrong last week, right? We said we think she's going to die, and they're going to make us pity her right before she dies. That part sort of happened. Marge. So I think this is one of like the most complicated constructions of a sequences that I've ever seen, in that we do this whole thing where Marge, on orders of the Patty Cakes, is going to trick Lily into thinking a boy likes her. Good old Tim Flanagan. And Tim Flanagan's in on it.
He's 30, by the way.
He does look so much older than she does.
Good God. What kind of child bride shit is this?
So they're going to use that. And so like the whole thing is that like you're going to go to lunch with her and pretend to be concerned about her, but that's really just to stage this random walkout where Tim Flanagan comes up and goes, "Hey, Lily," with his smoker's voice, because he's a 47-year-old man. And then she's going to walk up to him later, and then he's going to embarrass her in some way we never actually get to see. It's so fun. And I'm not like insulting the show's writing on this, but it's just this like really hilariously contrived shitty plan that these kids have. Like, basically my point is here is that like the patty cakes are like a really shitty version of Chris Hargensen and her band of terrible people. This is you said Timu Pennywise, this is Timu Carey. Like, this plan sucks.
Yes. Ultimately, Marge, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and you get an eye stabbed out.
But that is the interesting thing about what happens here, Kim, is that she starts to regret what she's doing, and she is about to come clean with Lily. She's about to be a good person for the first time since the show started. And that in that moment is when she is attacked. In that moment is when, so like, she's about to come clean. Pennywise clearly wants these kids, this four, our losers club class of 62, wants them segmented and separated from the rest of the people. And so like, here's a moment where someone is not going to be nasty to her, is going to do the right thing and tell her that this is all some mean trick. And that is when, boom, attack. And giant slug eyes.
Quite right. I think that Marge is a sandwich of Chris Hargensen and Sue Snell. I think they smashed those two together, because Sue Snell, in the novel, she's not great either, but she's better than Chris Hargensen. And so I like that we did have that doubt at the last second. And I like the juxtaposition, like you mentioned. It's right then that I think I was just so confused, even though I've seen the episode a few times, because in the moment, it's like, is this for Lily? Is Lily supposed to experience this, or is this really the Marge attack? It was very trippy for me. I was curious as to why is Marge being attacked? What?
Yeah, I mean, it's, sometimes two birds, one stone, right? You can take out troublesome Marge. If Marge isn't going to do bad stuff, you're not helpful to me anymore. And then you get to once again make Lily look crazy. Once again, we get to make Lily look crazy. So yeah, it could just be a dual purpose thing. I do think it's interesting. We haven't talked about the kid's genius plan of taking Valium.
Oh my God.
Pennywise.
Oh my God. I wish we could have seen that. I mean, I don't advocate. I do not advocate for child drug use ever. But would that have worked, Scott? I think it might have. I
don't know. I mean,
talk about floating.
Yeah. it just chills you out. So it maybe. I love like Lily's like, this is her brilliant plan. She steals them and then immediately drops it down the toilet and then reaches into the toilet trying to grab it. Ugh, Lily.
Yuck, Lily. Desperate. Yeah, that would have been a full body float, and I don't think Pennywise would have been able to make many waves. So, but it was hilarious. I feel that moment was such an homage to the time period, because my grandma had 7 kids. My grandma swallowed Valium by the pound. She loved it. It was how she made it. It was how no one in my mom's family got murdered. So I thought it was hilarious that they brought that in. I really wish we could. They wouldn't. Circling back to that, did we ever see the kids in It Chapter 1 or in the 1990s? Did they smoke? Did they do rebellious stuff? Did we see them do that?
See, now the problem is my brain is just going to meld the book and the movie together in my mind. Right. So like, yeah, no, they absolutely smoked, and it's probably just the book doing it. I'm going to say probably not. There's pretty hard stances these days on kids doing that kind of stuff in films.
As there should be. Yeah. Let's be real. I do not advocate for child drug use on film at all, but I am curious. I'm genuinely curious if that would have been a solution. Like, just swallow a couple of these and go walking in the cemetery all night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Perfect. I do like that they introduced this plot, and then like, I think you're right. We could not see children like falling over themselves on Valium, so we just had to have her drop it down the toilet immediately. Problem solved. The eye worms though, man.
Yuck.
So like, there's been a lot of complaining about the CG in the show, both from you and I think just in the general public. This is actually one effect that didn't bother me as much because like it's fake looking, but it's like in a designed way, right? Like it's so gross and off putting and disturbing in a fake over the top kind of way that I think it ultimately ends up working. I mean, especially when she like turns on a bandsaw and throws her head down to slice her huge protruding eyes off. Wow.
I can't. I just it was really cool in a entertaining way. Like your jaw's on the floor, you can't believe you're seeing this, but at the same time you're like, oh my god, like what death metal fan designed this sequence? You know, like this is so effed up, this is so insane. Let me just stick my face under the bandsaw. Oh gosh, it was wild.
And yet the show kind of immediately undoes that, because I guess that was part of our dream sequence stuff that we complained about in episode 2, that there are things that happen in these sequences that are not actually happening, and there are things that are absolutely happening. So she takes the chisel to her eye first. I guess that part happened. But the bandsaw part, I mean, I'm not saying she didn't put her face in front of a bandsaw. She did, but it's just like, I guess because the eyes were not really, like if we try to get technical about it, because the eyes were not actually really protruding, the bandsaw did not actually cut anything. And so, yeah, as you said, we are left with a one-eyed Marge. One-eyed Marge.
Sorry, not sorry, Marge.
So I love Marge. She's deliciously evil and terrible. And we even got the redemption turn. I think we're going to do a face turn here. And unfortunately I did. So after this episode, they did like, sometimes HBO will do like a mid-season trailer thing where they will show like scenes from the next 4 episodes. I started watching it, and when I realized it was like a trailer for the entire show, the rest of the show, I turned it off because I was like, I don't want to be spoiled on that stuff. But the one thing I did see was an eye-patched Marge with the rest of the losers. So it seems like she is just going to join the club, that she's now had her own Pennywise experience. She believes the stuff's going on, and she's part of the team now.
Yep.
So I guess that's where we're going.
That's where we're going. Pirate Marge is one of the gang, and hopefully she's changed now that she's missing an eye.
And then at the very end of the episode, Little Rich will sacrifice his life for hers, and she will say, I'm going to name my child after you one day, which will be a really weird thing to say, but I can't figure out how they do that reveal that Marge is Richie's mother without saying that. You know, like how do they actually like do that in the moment? Make that clear. I don't know, but I do think that's now that Marge did not die, I'm back to my original theory on Marge, which is that she is Richie's mom.
I think as we've been progressing through the episodes, I've disliked her more and more, and I'm in a space. I enjoy her a lot. I think she's terrific, and I do enjoy her in the show. But at present, I'm thinking to myself, I think you're still pretty rotten, Marge, because now the patty cakes aren't going to want a one-eyed girl. You're out, and that's why you're with the Losers Club. So they are your second choice. So at the end of the day, you're still a piece of shit, Marge. So we're just going to work with you, and hopefully the show gives us some more character background so we can accept you more. Unknown. But yeah, she's made me more mad as we've gone along. I went from neutral to the red.
I do hope that part of her face turn is her saying, hey, I know Lily was standing over me with the chisel in her hand, but she didn't do it. I did it. That was me, not her. I hope that's part of it. But I also have this sneaking suspicion that Marge admitting publicly that she had an experience with giant worms growing out of her eyes is not something Marge is gonna want to do. But I don't know how we don't just have Lily and Juniper Hill for the rest of the show if we don't get her out somehow. So maybe that's exactly what happens. Marge is just like, no, I did this. It was me. So then she goes to Juniper Hill. I don't know.
JK Raffle, my bad. I did it. I hope that's how it goes, so that they just skim right over it. I stabbed my own eye. Sorry.
Yeah. I thought I had an itch, so I took a chisel to it.
The snail eyes though was wild. Like
Yeah.
it was insane. It was cool.
Somehow not the craziest thing that happens in this episode. Giant snail eyes and bandsawing. That's coming up. But no, I thought it was a cool sequence. I liked it. And I just like, I know we've talked so much about how much we hate Marge, and I'm right there with you, but I enjoy her presence in the show. I think the actress is doing a really great job with her, making us like the goal of the show is to make you hate her, and then we're gonna hopefully do something very interesting with that. Ultimately, I still do think she was the one that wrote in the lipstick on Ronnie's locker. I'm still utterly convinced of that.
And I'm convinced you have shine powers. So whatever you say, you let me know your next lotto picks, Scott,
Okay.
and roulette numbers, whatever you want to throw my way. That would be great. I'm with you. I really enjoy Marge. She is, oh my gosh, I just shake my head, but she's a delight.
And she definitely, like, as much as I think she's going to be part of their like team to ultimately try to not die, she is also the type of person who you can absolutely see growing up into an adult that looks the other way at everything that goes bad in this town. Like, you can just see that already with her. So makes total sense to me.
It does indeed. Oh, Margie.
Oh, Marge.
I think Little Rich would probably go into a coma if he took that Valium.
Can I just say how much I love him?
He is so
sweet. He serves a very specific purpose in the show, but that purpose is delightful. Like, so I did not like the whole lampshading why Pennywise isn't killing us thing, like where they basically said, no, see, he's hunting us and he's stalking us, and then when we're maximally ripe, he's going to eat us. I didn't like that because that's not how Pennywise operates in any other story. Like, he didn't like see Georgie in the storm drain and then go, okay, I scared you. See you tomorrow, George. I'll get you tomorrow. Like, I think Pennywise does play with his food, but it's the type of playing with the food that predators do, where it's just like, I'm going to mess with you a little bit before I kill you. And it's not like I'm going to do this prolonged over the course of weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, I never felt like that's what Pennywise was doing in the book at all. So I mean, it's them putting a lampshade on, explaining why these kids are just not dying. And they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, with like, they're going to say that, but they're also going to make the statement of like, it could kill us at any time. And we're supposed to say, yeah, that's true, because we saw the kids die in the first episode. Like, they're really, really like eating rich off of this thing they did in the first episode, this shocking thing they did in the first episode. And I understand that's what they were going for with that. But like, I think we even kind of predicted in the first episode of like, you're just going to throw away a couple characters to make us think that everyone's under threat at all times. But that's not actually how any of this is working, really.
I always tell my students to watch out for info dumps, and we have so many info dumps in this show, Scott. Like, they're everywhere, and we've got huge ones in this episode, and they can serve a purpose sometimes, but you have to have a really delicate touch with info dumps, because this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. And so I think what's problematic for me, specifically this episode, is the script is doing exactly what you said, where they'll give us this meaty sort of info dumpy, like, there's no way Will would be able to connect cortisol and stress. Stop it. I love you, Will, forever. You are the angel of my heart, but stop. This is writer's room garbaggio that they want you to splutter out to tell the audience, oh, this is why we're still alive. But they're lacking cohesion, right? Like, they are. Yeah, and so it's like, are you dumb or are you deceitful? And so I know that's very harsh, but when I get frustrated with scripts sometimes, that's where I'm coming at you from.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong about this, but I always felt like, even in the movies, Like, the reason why the kids aren't killed by Pennywise in those scenes is not because he was like, I was just messing with you and I'll be back tomorrow. It's like he was literally trying to kill them and they just happened to get away for one reason or another.
Yes.
And I mean, a lot of it was, of course, they are special. Like, the book goes a long way to define these kids. This group of kids are special. The fact that they're together makes them stronger and makes them more resistant to this thing. But yeah, just this like playing with your food type of thing. I wasn't a fan of it. But it does lead to some of my favorite lines in the episode, which come from our boy Rich, where Will is like, I don't know, it's just a theory. And he says, that's a horrible theory.
He's so
and then,
cute.
And then Ronnie says, okay, let's assume you're correct. And he goes, no, I don't want to assume that.
The sweet baby. He's so cute.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful. He's playing the comedic relief character, and he's doing a great job at it. And I think he's gonna die. I think poor Rich is doomed. But I don't know. We'll see. I've been wrong about this before. So
sweet baby. I don't want anybody to die. I like them a lot now.
You know what? The one thing I wasn't wrong about though. Mike Grogan.
Oh my God. That was so huge, Scott. Like, I can't believe you just threw that one out there. And I'm watching it and I was like, oh my God.
It's one of those things, actually. So this is earnestly just something I came up with while watching the episode. And then like you go look out on the internet, which I usually try to do after we've recorded the episode. And then I find like 47,000 people have the same idea that I did. And you're just like, oh, I guess I'm not special anymore. But yeah, I mean, like, I think ultimately it just makes sense that that's where they were going with it. I'm really into this stuff they're doing with these characters, though. I'm actually, the thing I'm mad at myself about is not guessing that Charlotte was going to like immediately take up the charge for Hank Grogan and like be on his side to try to get him free, because like in retrospect that feels so obvious. Like the moment in the episode where she picks up the paper and sees the headline, I was like, okay, duh, of course. And that's exactly what we get. But I'm in love with this whole part of the show. I'm in love with it. I love every bit of it. What do you think of everything we're doing with Hank and Charlotte Hanlon?
Queen Charlotte? Me too. I am in awe. What an inspiration she is. Oh my gosh, Scott, this whole episode, she just won my heart. She is so strong and tenacious, and I love how it's elegant, it's polite, but then it's cutting, it's very matter of fact. The script is really tight in this area. I really love everything that they made Charlotte say to these men in authority, and even Hank Grogan himself. It's masterful if you really listen to how she's speaking to people.
Yeah.
It is so great. She is the best. I am #1 fan.
She owns every scene she's in this show.
Yes.
Like every single scene. Yeah, I mean, her going to, but there's 2 scenes in the police station in this episode, and she just kicks the shit out of each of them. I mean, especially the second one where she wins basically and gets to go see Hank Grogan. Man, I like, and then the scene in her house when Leroy confronts her because his buddy, his stupid Army or Air Force buddy is spying on her. But she like that line, like we're once again definitely talking about America in the show quite a bit. And he's like chastising her for making trouble. And her response is, there's going to be trouble anywhere we go. That's the country you swore your life to defend. I'm just trying to make it worth defending. It's like, oh, fuck. That's great.
Fire.
That rules.
Straight fire. So good.
But the thing about that scene that really got to me, though, was the way it ended. So I want to get your opinion on this, because I'm not even sure I'm reading this right. Like, they're having this back and forth. She's doing what she does, which is she's speaking up. She's speaking truth to power. She is not backing down. She's fighting for what she believes in. And their conversation is building and building and building. And then there's just a moment where she just goes, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. And it just stops it. And I'm like, oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, was that her backing down, or was that her just placating him in the moment? I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going with placate. I think that she is so wise and cunning and calculating. She knows where to put her energy and where to remove it. And she knows her husband very well with his principles, and he was not going to back down. And so she has to be smart about it. She's got to play this smart game. So if she
Yeah.
backs down, if she quiets down, she removes her energy, then she can go back to plotting her next move. So I think it was a placation for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. One thing I will say, we cut from a scene of Marge slicing her eyeballs off in a bandsaw to a scene of Charlotte chopping tomatoes. Charlotte, you gotta sharpen that knife. That is the dullest looking knife I've ever seen. You crushed that tomato. You did not slice
Tomato squishing. That's these juxtapositions, these scene transitions are hilarious. Remember when Halloran vomited and then it was like the mashed potatoes at lunch? Like, it's very cheeky and clever, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But I mean, back to Hank for a little bit. Like, yes, we got the reveal that yes, he is dating a married white woman, and now he feels like he's stuck. One, because if that's revealed, he's afraid he will be murdered. Probably a very real, understandable fear. And then also, he's possibly in love with this woman, and what her husband would do to her. Do you have any guess on is this a character we know? Is this a woman we know?
I don't think we've seen her yet, but I've heard speculation that they believe it's Bowers' wife. And
Oh,
I know, right? Isn't that huge? That is
yeah.
huge. My gal pal Jill pointed out something really great, that what we're seeing in this episode potentially is the spark that creates the Hanlon Bowers feud. And
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
thinking if they're going in that direction, if I don't know for sure, if they're smart, they would. But if we are going in that direction, I think making something really incendiary like that would be very wise.
Yeah, and this is also, I think, not only do we get the black spot in this episode, which we haven't even talked about yet, but this is also, I think, laying the pieces for how the fire at the black spot happens. You know, you have like, again, this is perfect with what we talked about last week. This is a town, like how many people in Derry have said, this isn't the South, Mrs. Hanlon, right? Like, this is not how we do things here. We don't do it that way. This isn't the South. Like, we're better. We're not racist. We're like, we don't do things the way they do it down there in that Jim Crow South. We're better. But I think that's bullshit. And I think that's where the show is leading us, that's bullshit. This thing gets out. This idea that Hank Rogan is in a relationship with a white woman gets out. That is the straw that sets the black spot on fire, essentially. And of course, our guy Pennywise will instigate and push and prod in any ways. Like, you're trying to think of how is this information going to ultimately get out. And I mean, Hank seems pretty insistent that he's not willing to do that, like both for his safety and the safety of the woman he's with, that like he's going to even risk getting sent to Shawshank for that information. But something's going to go down here, and this is like, if we want to see like how we're going to get to a bunch of white people setting the black spot on fire, like, it's Hank Rogan, it's what this plot line exactly.
Totally. I have a question for you. I want to know what you think about this. Is the Hanlon dinner scene. After Will excuses himself from the table, Charlotte and Leroy are talking, and Leroy asks her, this girl that he likes, is she ... question mark. And then Charlotte laughs, and then they don't talk about it anymore. And then a little bit later on in the episode, we have that really awesome scene between Charlotte and Hank Grogan, where we learn that he's been having an affair with a married white woman. And so are they connected? Was Leroy asking Charlotte, is it the worst thing a black man can do in 1962, but in Derry? Like, is that the worst?
In my opinion, 100%. Like
Yeah.
the unspoken words there was, "Is this girl black?" And
Yeah.
like you can almost, if you look at the scene, because I thought that same thing too, and so I rewatched the scene. He says, "Is she?" And he kind of does this gesture where he's like pointing back and forth between her and I, as in like, "Is she like us?" Essentially.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, like once again, how this show is handling racism, like we talked about it as a critique early in the show, and it's just become a compliment. Like it's doing it so deftly, and this like we are capturing these are people, these black characters in the show, people living in this environment where they feel at any moment that they could be unsafe, but no one is actually projecting that unsafeness onto them. It's just this feeling they get because it's all under the surface. It's all right there boiling under the surface. Like even the moment when and I think that has like affected me as well, because like when Leroy, when Will sees Pennywise or Timu Pennywise, and Leroy rushes outside screaming, I was like, "Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Be fucking careful! Be careful!
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go run out screaming into the night. These people are gonna like beat the shit." Like I was so afraid for him in that moment. It's like, oh, the show has done that to me. The show has put me in this position where I am constantly nervous and afraid for these people, and that's their reality too, right? They're living in this, like the reason, like what is the first thing he says unfairly to Charlotte? Was like, "Look what you did. Now they got someone watching our house," right? And it's just like, Jesus, this is their experience. This is their life. This is what life is like for them. And this is the North, right? This is where it's supposed to be better. But it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Which is soul crushing.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely soul crushing. I wonder if the show, as I listen to you, I think about these grandiose concepts that do you ever like nerd out to someone speaking and then you're like, wait a minute, I got it. Talk about a very druggy moment for people who have experiences with that. Sorry. College days came harkening back. Anyway, long story short, we're talking about, as we've circled around in a lot of our discussions, how Derry is the gilded frame, the rotted wood. It's bad here. But the show's trying to paint the picture that it's not. And so I'm wondering, will the showrunners make Pennywise just an alien and it's just humanity that's evil? It was all us, always, all the time, forever. And Pennywise it's just who's just a space entity from Todash Darkness. And he came here and he needs a food source, and somehow he likes cortisol and fear responses. But he's just he's just an alien, and it was just our rotten, evil human nature the whole time. So I'm gonna hang that somewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like that. Like my interpretation of even in the novel has always been like Pennywise corrupts Derry, but Derry was the perfect place for Pennywise. Like it's a symbiotic relationship. It's not like I think there's sometimes I see people say like every bad thing that happens in Derry is a result of Pennywise and his influence, and I've never felt that way. I've always felt it was a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. It's that like Pennywise likes it here because this is the type of place where he can flourish, but also he has like attached himself so to the core and heart of the town so much that like its corruption feeds him and his corruption feeds it. Like it's both. It's both. Like I think the opening of it is perfect with Adrian Mellon. Like Pennywise did not cause that man to be homophobic and kill a gay man. Like that's not what happened. Like this was just people. This is just people being terrible people. And also there's this cosmic entity that feeds off of that and enhances it. And like that has always in my mind been what this story is. And so ultimately, like if the show goes that direction, bravo. Like that's where we should be going. That it's like that I don't think human beings need Pennywise to have a bunch of white people burn down a black juke joint.
Right.
I just watched Sinners, so I have the the phrase
Yeah.
juke joint in my head. Like I don't think we need an evil cosmic entity to do that. We're fully capable of doing that on our own. Now is a thing like Pennywise going to take advantage of that and use that and maybe fuel or fan the flames a little bit? Certainly. But yeah, I think this is imperative to what this whole story is. So yeah, if it was just like he is responsible for everything, it is responsible for everything in this town being bad, I ultimately would not like that at all.
It's good to be reminded of that symbiosis, and I'm glad that you brought up that specific term because it's so helpful to me. Because I think I think it's just my personality or the way my brain works. When I have multiple concepts in my mind, everything gets like a rudimentary treatment. Like I'm like, Derry equals bad. And so that's how I put the pieces together. And so I think for the longest time, having read the novel a couple times and talk with people about it, my foundation is always like, oh, Derry is bad because of Pennywise has been there, or the it entity, or glue now has been here tainting the soil for trillions of years, and that's why Derry's bad. But now it's so profound, especially with this show and what the show is doing with racism, to be reminded of, wait a minute. It's us. It's us being rotten and evil and terrible. And then there's this entity that gains energy and strength and fans the flames of said evil. So symbiosis is perfect. And I really like how you framed that.
And this I want to maybe finish the episode talking about the whole Pennywise origin story mythology part, but the one thing I want to get into now is one of the reasons why I don't like that stuff is the idea that the reason why Pennywise is in Derry is because he is contained here by some magical kryptonite meteors, and like in my mind that's not why that's not why it lives in Derry. It's because it likes Derry. It enjoys Derry is the perfect place for it. It's not that it's trapped here. It's that like this is the best place for it. And I feel like that mythology stuff kind of damages that idea a little bit. At least in this version of the mythology. I think even in like the after the episode, like behind the scenes stuff, I think it's Muschietti that says like, if not for these native people, it would have taken over the whole world. And I'm like, that's not it. That's not what we're doing with any of this stuff. So I did not like that.
I also did not, because it's very grandiose, and I think I can't blame, well, how do I want to phrase this? So Muschietti did a Marvel movie, and I think I'm holding that against him for the rest of his life.
It was a DC movie. You
yes,
keep making that
thank
mistake.
you. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to lose my DC card here. It's terrible. Yes, I think for whatever reason, I keep screwing that up. But he did a DC movie. He did The Flash. And I feel like this is that comic booky storytelling coming into play, especially with our boy from Krypton, Kal-El glass shards. I mean, this is the story of Superman, and I love Superman a lot, and that's why this is upsetting. This is a little upsetting. But I just, oh gosh. I'm drawing a blank on where I want to go with this, but yeah, Muschietti with his grandiose comic booky plans, I think is hindering the power of the story, and like you said, limiting Derry and limiting this Pennywise entity, and it all it's reductive.
It just this conversation just reminded me about the thing he does in it, chapter 2, which is the losers as adults have to kill Pennywise now, because if they don't, they're going to die. And I really despised that plot point. I really didn't like it. And to me, it's part and parcel of the same problem, which is just like this idea that we have to gamify it or raise the stakes in a specific way that I just don't feel are necessary. Like there's nothing wrong with the stakes in it. Like these are people that are concerned. They made a promise, and B, they're terrified, And that's enough. Like, we don't need to raise the stakes of, well, what, we have to make a reason for why they wouldn't just leave Derry. It's like, no, of course they wouldn't leave Derry. They made a fucking promise as kids. Like, that's, and this is the same thing where, like, we have to raise the stakes. Like, the US Army is going to remove the totems, and then it is going to escape and free to run rampant over the world. It's like, that's not necessary. That's too big. It's too big for what the story is. So yeah.
Muschietti would have gotten a D in my fiction class for chapter 2 because if they were the whole they're gonna die thing, which I agree, I think it's trash. But here's what makes it extra steaming hot trash is is he didn't show us. The rule of fiction and in film, show the viewer.
Yeah.
So we were told that Beverly had visions of everyone's death. Did we see said visions? No, we didn't see a solitary one.
Well, they didn't have time to film that. Like, they're really busy. Okay,
they're just so busy, and each one of those actors getting 20 mil. Yeah, I see where your decisions were made. I got you, but yeah, show us, please. Mm-hmm. Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
You get a C, Muschietti.
I will say, like, I loved the black spot stuff in this episode.
Me too.
It's really tragic too, because like these are just scenes of like these guys just joking around, and they're joking around at how trash and terrible this place is, but also like they're so excited and hopeful for the future, and like the potential of what it could possibly be. And I can't, like, this is one of those things where I have to ask the question of like, who is the show for? And I don't mean this in a negative way, but like, is this stuff being written with the idea that the majority of the people that are watching it know what the end result of this place is going to be or not? I'm trying to remember, because I think the honestly, the audience of the show is people that have watched the movies, right? I think that is what they're going for. Like, that's why the Niebolt Street moment at the end of the episode actually does work, because everyone who has watched those movies know exactly what that place is and understand it, and they understand the stakes. And we're like, oh, it's why like the Bradley gang big reveal in episode 2 didn't work, and the Niebolt Street big reveal at the end of episode 4 does work, because nobody knows who the Bradley gang was. Everybody watching the show knows exactly what that house is. But I don't know. I don't remember. Is the black spot talked about in the movies at all?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not, because in chapter 2, they did a switcheroo on us with Mike's parents dying in a fire, and they called it a junkie fire.
Yeah.
And so the viewers were led to believe, oh, no black spot. It's just only 2 Hanlons were killed, Mike's parents, and that's it. And so I think we're led to believe, oh, no black spot at all.
Okay. So yeah, I think what this is probably operating on primarily then is that the majority of people watching this maybe don't know what the end result of this thing is going to be. But I also think it's written in this way where the scene works if you don't know where we're going, but I think it especially works if you do, because there is something so horribly tragic about all this. And it's like, I don't know, like the guy comes out of the back and is like, oh, we could have like a hot plate back here. And I'm just like, oh,
I know.
You're going to make this place so great, and it's all going to go bad. It's all going to go so bad. And I think the show is leaning into that a little bit. Like, we haven't talked about Dick's image of his grandmother. Like, he walks out, he's taking some trash out, and he sees his grandmother standing in the distance in the woods. And then we get this flash of images. And this is where I was on my pause game here, where I was like, trying to pay attention and see every single image we get. So we get several images of the deadlights. We get a close-up image of a drain, and then a bathroom door closing, and then someone, I'm guessing it's Dick, kicking open a door to a bathroom, and his grandmother, at least I think it's his grandmother character, is sitting on the toilet in the bathroom. And then we see an explosion and fire, and his grandmother standing in the distance. So like, I don't know what all that is. I think the fire is probably the black spot, that he's seeing images of the future with the black spot. And I think maybe we will eventually cut back to the scene where we see like the image of his grandmother in the distance as the black spot burns. I don't know what the bathroom stuff is. Maybe this is like how she died in some way. I have no idea, but I was trying to capture as much as I could there.
I love this. I think that's so great to do. I really am concerned for Halloran because this is the second time we've seen his grandma warning him.
Yeah.
And she says directly in this episode, keep the lid on tight.
Yeah.
And I infer that as telling him not to shine when he's being forced to shine, which is what we talked about last week with him being exploited. And it was, I really sort of had a lump in my throat with that. Like, she's warning him to turn this gift off and he can't. And he tells Leroy, I do what I'm told. I'm just trying to not make waves here.
Yeah.
And that crushes me, Scott. It really does, because he's so powerless in so many ways. The most powerful person is so powerless in so many ways. And that just breaks me.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like the mythology stuff he learns from the character. What is his name? I always forget his name. Taniel. Yeah.
Which is okay. I should be a nice girl. It's fine.
Yeah. I didn't like the mythology stuff. I loved the Halloran part of it. I love, we talked about this a little last week where now the place is using him to do this. Like, this is a boy. I don't know how old Taniel's supposed to be, but they described them as kids. So like, it's like, how long have those kids been sitting at the perimeter spying on us? It's like, invite him in. So like, the general's plan here is to arrest this Native American boy. First, like, trick him into, I guess, coming on the base, and then arresting him for trespassing, and then forcing Hanlon to fuck with his brain. It's monstrous. It's horrible. And yes. Hanlon freely participates in it. And yeah, so like, I love the Hanlon part of this, especially when we get to the end, after we go through the whole story sequence and we get to the end, and this horrifying shot of Dick over, and it's still the young version of Taniel, like leaning over him and saying, come on, you can tell me. And he's got this just terrifying smile on his face, just absolutely horrifying. Like, it is channeling Pennywise. That's what we're doing in that scene. Now, whether that means he's actually like in the scene being affected by Pennywise, like whether when they mind melded in the previous episode, there's a little piece of him in there that's tunneling around, or we are just visually comparing in order to draw a point here that Dick in this instance is terrorizing a young child to get information, to get something from them, which is horrible and monstrous. Do you have a theory on what we're doing here with that whole thing?
I love Halloran so much that I did not think there was cross-contamination with Pennywise in this moment. And I could have not read into it deep enough, but that freaky face he had, I personally saw it as a moment where he was indulging in the dark side of the shine, which is to have that feeling of absolute authority and power. And that's what I took from it. Maybe I should have looked into it more, but I just felt like this was I don't know. My initial few viewings of the scene, I didn't feel like Pennywise was in this. I felt like he spat in his face, which was, I feel too much. I wonder why they did that, because I get that you're a punk young, you're a youth and you don't like Johnny Law and you're going to throw a fit. Okay, I got you. But this is a man of color and you are also a person of color, and there's a lot more that unites you than separates you in that moment. And so I felt it was like it really jarred me that he spat in his face. I was like, what the hell? Okay. And so with that, I feel like Halloran's like, okay, maybe a white devil would do that to me. Maybe like a white person, but you, another person of color? No, like, come on now. Come on.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he indulged my theory, of which I don't have a lot of evidence for, but my instinctual theory is that he indulged in a dark side of the shine and wanted to exude authority. Like, I'm in your head. I am in the deepest part of your memory. You're going to give me what I want. And so that's where I took it. I don't know if that's correct. I don't really have a foundation for it, but I didn't think it was a possession or a cross-contamination.
I didn't think it was either. I like your theory. I think it's also true, and the Dark Tower kind of tells us this, that people with this ability, like, it feels good to use it. Like,
Yeah.
they like it a little bit, and that there's a corrupting side of that as well. So I can definitely see that. I think we are kind of trying to make the audience a little bit uneasy about the direction Halloran is going, because at some point, like, he keeps falling back on this, like, I'm just following orders. I'm not in control. And like, it's leading towards a path that is not going to be good. Like at the end of this episode, I think we're going to see the United States government walk into the Neibolt house, which I'm sure is going to go so great for them. But like, it's leading towards this really dangerous thing, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be more dangerous for the black people in this town than anyone else.
Yeah.
And eventually Dick is going to have to step up and say, like, I have agency and authority in this, and I can't just keep hiding behind the idea of, like, I'm just following orders. He knows what they're chasing on some level. He knows how dangerous it is. He probably has a sneaking suspicion how uncontrollable it is, that this whole plan, as we talked about in the second episode, is so stupid. It's such a dumb plan. He knows that, and yet he's hiding behind the shield of just following orders, and so I think this is all part of that same thing. I agree with you.
Same, well said. And I think what we saw with that freaky little Halloran face, I think we saw a tiny glimpse, Scott, of fuck around and find out. That's what we saw. And I think we might see more of that as we go forward.
Mm-hmm. But I think one thing we haven't talked about in that is Leroy Hanlon and his experience with it in this episode. So the fishing scene, which by the way is wonderful. I adore the fishing scene. I adore everything that led up to the fishing scene. That, like, once again we have Charlotte kind of clearly being the leader of the family, and like being like, oh, you have time off this weekend, you should do something with your son. And of course Leroy picks the thing that Will would just not have any interest in whatsoever, which is to go fly fishing in the middle of a river. It's great. It's wonderful. I love where it goes. I love the moment of you'll burn too. This is Will's fear. This is Will's true fear, that his father, his father was involved in a car crash or an airplane crash in Korea, was hurt but survived. And so Will's greatest fear is his father burning up in an airplane crash. And we see images of a burned Leroy Hanlon. But maybe that burned Leroy Hanlon is not from a plane crash, but from some sort of spot that has been lit on fire.
Oh, I like what you did there.
But I love this. I love this whole scene.
It was so great. It was so strong. Couldn't agree more. It was comedic and sweet and lighthearted, and then it slowly got mysterious and creepy and very, very effective. I really liked it as well. And I like that Leroy is starting to believe.
That's the huge moment, right? He sees the red balloon. This is like this episode, I think both Leroy and Charlotte are kind of buying into what their kids are saying here, which is a very shocking thing in Derry, that we have adults that are, like, not only having some of these shared experiences with the children, but also, like, buying into it. And so, I mean, that's really exciting. I'm curious to see where we ultimately go with it with Leroy. But yeah, he sees the balloon. He sees two balloons.
Wow. And when we see, I think it's Leroy in It Chapter 1 with young Mike, he's working in the slaughterhouse. And so when you have that in mind and you look at this regal, strong, sophisticated gentleman, and it's like, oh, shoot, yikes. And what his eyes are open to now, and where he feels he has control, and there's all of a sudden a lack of control with this environment in this new city with his wife, with little Will. This is some cool character stuff we're seeing.
Yeah, and I think like Dick, Leroy is hiding behind the shield of following orders, of like his career is very important to him. Understandably, he has to play the game in a certain way, especially as a black man in the military, and he is very forceful on how that is done and how that is not done. And he also now, like, the general invites him into the interrogation, so he watches as Dick essentially tortures this Native American kid to get information out of him. He has now watched that, and like, how long can he play in this game of I'm just going along with this thing? Because this,
Right.
let's remind everyone again, this plan is really fucking stupid.
+1.
Yeah.
Times 10. Times a million. It's just so wrong, but okay, we're on board. We're strapped in.
Can I? One of the funniest moments of the show for me was, for the second time in 2 weeks, the colonel comes to the general saying, "General, we investigated all the places that Rose told us to, and we found nothing." And the general's response is, "Of course you didn't." Like 2 times in a row, "General, we did all this work and it didn't find anything." "Of course not."
Facts.
You fucker. Stop telling us to do all this stuff if you knew that it wasn't going to work out in the first place.
I would kill if the camera would just pan to that guy's face and just show this deflation that he has to hide behind because he can't show how dumb and what a waste of time it is. Hilarious.
But I like this because I think one thing we are doing here is showing the incompetence of the United States military, or at least this portion of it, because honestly, we don't know how long this operation's been going on in Derry, right? The cycle is almost over. We keep getting reminded of that by the general. What if they accomplished?
I don't know. They dug up the Bradley gang car,
which was a nothing. That did nothing.
It absolutely did nothing. They found some beacons, which we haven't really seen. They threw that out there. And we haven't really followed up with that, right? I guess the Bradley gang car was a beacon? Question mark.
Literally, the only thing they've accomplished is they got the Nebolt Street house from Taniel, and that was Dick just today. Like
today.
I'm just imagining like the quarterly status reports on Operation Find Pennywise, and just like for 6 months, it's just been like, so yeah, we just kind of dug around Derry. Did you find anything? No. We're just gonna keep trying.
Q1 and Q2 were a bit unlucky. But we've learned a lot and we are moving forward. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that's exactly what was said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a great question. What have they achieved? Oh man, you really hit my funny bone on that one. I will be laughing about that long after.
Yeah, they've done nothing. They've accomplished nothing. Everything that has been done in the last 24 hours. So.
Our tax dollars at work.
All right. Time to talk about Galoo. The great Galoo.
The great Galoo. Not Baloo from Jungle Book. Don't think of that at all.
It's a bad name, Kim. And by the way, yes. I looked up to make sure before I made fun of the name that this isn't some actual like Native American like spirit or monster or something that they just yoinked. I couldn't find anything. I did find that Galoo is the leading metal recycler in Europe. So good for you, Galoo. You really really staked a name for yourself after you escaped Derry. You headed over to Europe and started recycling metal. So it's a bad name. It's a real bad name. I made this joke before, but it's like when you learned that Baby Yoda's name was Grogu in The Mandalorian, and we're just like,
What?
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that. And that's how I feel about Galoo. I just
Yeah.
I don't like it. And it's like that started off this whole mythology scene on a bad foot for me when like the first thing is like, oh, we've all heard the story of the Galoo. I was like, fuck. I'm out. I'm already out.
I rewound it. I was like, what? What did you say? Glue? Like Elmer's?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay, I need captions. All right. Oh dear. Yeah, I think immediately of Baloo from Jungle Book.
Yes.
Again, my kindergarten self has come out to translate that. But yes, this is terrible. This is a terrible name, Scott. I'm very displeased.
Yes. I understand them wanting to give it a name because they probably have struggled with the same thing that I struggle with is when I'm trying to talk about. I end up saying Pennywise more than I say it because that is it's always very clear when you're talking to someone what you're referring to when you say it, whereas otherwise it would be confusing when you say it. What it are you referring to? So I get it. It's not a good name. It's just not. I don't know where they got it. I don't know where they found it. It's not a good name.
I, too, am also glad that you did your research, and it is not a culturally sensitive word by any means. It's a nothing, so we can throw all the mud because it's nothing.
I apologize in advance if I just missed it, and it is. But again,
same. Sorry.
Like as you said last week, we don't know the name of this tribe. Like we don't know who these people are, if they are real. Like I know, we talked about the children of Maturin, and I really thought this was the episode where they were going to finally drop that phrase. And they did not. I mean, we see the children of Matter, and we see them put kryptonite in turtle shells, but we don't call them the children of Maturin.
We do not. We just kryptonite get buried. Real deep, Scott. Real deep.
So I think we can summarize the whole mythology as white people fucked it up, which is basically what it seems like it is. This thing crash landed here. It was contained to the woods. They kind of found a way to live in relative balance with this thing where they didn't go into the woods. It couldn't get out. And then the settlers came and fucked it all up.
These white devils.
Yep.
These colonizers.
But it leads to the one thing in this whole thing that I absolutely loved, which is Pennywise as a Puritan priest. Now, I don't understand why he grew 10 feet tall and had really long, gangly arms. I don't get that part. But you talk about metal. You talk about the metal of, like, chopping your eyeballs off with a bandsaw. I missed this the first time I watched it. So what happens, first of all, the idea of a Puritan priest being, like, the thing that a Native American, like, fears the most is perfect. So what it does is it grabs the warrior, it touches her, and she instantly gets smallpox, which is great. I'm going to try to say this with a straight face. Then a baby bursts out of his chest.
Not just any baby.
No. The baby has a crown of thorns. So it's baby Jesus. And then baby Jesus stabs the woman in the side with a spear that I'm assuming is the spear of destiny, aka the spear that pierced the side of Christ while he was on the cross. I'm guessing. Like, why else would you have baby Jesus hold a weapon and not be the spear of destiny? Holy shit. Holy shit. It's like, I retract every complaint I made about this show in these past 4 episodes, because holy fucking shit. They did it. They did it.
Yep. The Christ child emerged. Post-crucifixion Christ child, which is wild because, the crown. Anyway. Stabbed her. Post-crucifixion Christ child.
And I think the baby Jesus also seems to have smallpox. Why is he a baby?
Why is he a baby? Yes.
I mean, remember when we said a couple weeks ago that if there was another weird baby birthing incident in the show, we would have to call it a trend?
Right? I mean,
We're here.
what's going on? What is going on? This is the third baby. And this is the baby.
It's the one.
It's the one.
Merry Christmas.
Wow. Yeah, this was I texted Scott earlier and I was like, this is a Cannibal Corpse album. This is a Cannibal Corpse album cover. Metalheads out there, you know I am right. And this is Scott, when I go speechless, I just can't. Like, that's what this scene, like, I have no words for the shock and the absolute 10-foot question mark in my brain. Like, what on earth? Wow. Who went to the desert and took peyote, and who came back to Hollywood and wrote this down? Because this is an ayahuasca dream that you had, because this is insane.
I just can't get over what the meeting was like. So here's our plan for the scene. Like, you have to sit your CG people down that are going to build this, and you have to explain to them what you want. And it's the craziest thing that you've ever explained to a human being.
Truly.
And like, I feel like one of the animators were like, but why a baby?
So we're clear. What you're asking for is what?
And I'm sure the answer was, what, you want like a full grown Jesus to burst out of the chest?
Oh my God. Wow. Oh, man.
To be clear, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It is nuts. I mean,
crazy.
They managed to one up the bandsaw.
Yeah.
Scott. Like, we were all blown away by that horror show. How could it get any worse? Oh, hold my beer. Welcome to Derry said, hold my beer. We get the Christ child emerging from the chest of the priest that Pennywise has taken. Oh my goodness.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's wild. It's pretty great. I'm with you. It just has to be, it's just awesome. Like, it's so over the top. It's so insane. It's great. It's the greatest of the great.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, everything else in the mythology stuff I kind of hate. I don't like the kryptonite rock weakness. So like, okay, here's the way I can like try to be charitable and salvage this. Like, ultimately, the mythology of it doesn't matter, because the whole thing with it is it's all about belief, right? It's like, if you believe it can kill you, it can kill you. If you so the idea, first of all, this whole mythology could just be bullshit and they're just making it up because they don't know, but they just have these rocks. And like, the thing with it is, if you believe that these rocks can hurt it, they will. Like, that's how it works, especially in the movie version of it. I think they've really leaned into that idea in the movie version of it. I mean, it's definitely there in the books as well, don't get me wrong, but and so like, ultimately none of this shit like matters, because it's all about whether the people that are doing it like fully are bought into the idea or not. But I just like, it's just silly to me. It's just really silly to me to have like, we're gonna have 13, and like, let me just say, I know what they're doing, because this is very Dark Tower-esque. Like, you have this ring with, it's the beams and the guard. We're doing a Dark Tower thing. I get it. I like the Dark Tower a whole lot. I understand that. It doesn't make me like this anymore. Like, I don't know. It's just a little silly to me that this is how we're going to define the stakes of this. And I'm also not clear. So like, I like the Neibolt Street ending, but I'm not clear. Like, what do you mean go into the old well in Neibolt Street and you'll find the pieces of are they all in the sewer? How did they not get dug up when they were building the sewage system? I'm so confused.
I, too, am very lost on that, because we have that aerial shot where we see the 13 smokestacks where they built the 13 fires. And so it's this circumference, assuming it's now the territory of Derry. And then,
right. I mean, at the time of it's the forest, but I'm assuming like the Western Forest is just Derry. It's just Derry now. Like, I mean, there's probably still a little forest in there, but it's just mostly Derry. Because obviously it is operating in Derry. Or maybe we're just seeing the origin story of how it got into the sewers. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm glad we're lost together because I feel the exact same. And that's why I feel this episode has made me so uncomfortable, because I have these giant questions now. Because how do we have that aerial shot of the forest that's now Derry? So now the viewer's translating that. We're trying to figure that out. Then Taniel takes Halloran to the house on Newbold Street and he's like, go down there. All 13 are there. What? How does this work? Wait, what?
And like, so the government is trying to find Pennywise, right? It's not trying to find the shards of kryptonite. Right?
I think so. I think you're correct.
So how would finding where the 13 sacred shards are buried, like, I guess you could just triangulate, right? You just like walk the path of the beam, I guess. And eventually you'd get to the center but I don't know. It's just so confusing.
I'm glad that I am not alone in my confusion. I feel very seen because this show makes me feel like a dumb kid when really we are smart kids and they are misleading us. They are leading us into the forest without breadcrumbs and we are finding our way out and realizing these mistakes are being made. Mistakes are made.
I did appreciate the moment where the voiceover of Taniel says, they buried 13 sacred shards deep into the earth. And then we cut to someone digging the shallowest hole of all time and putting a shard in it. It's like, it's 2 feet deep.
It is a very little hole. I think the glass is cool looking. I like shiny black glass. It's dragon glass from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it is dragon glass. Yeah. It is absolutely dragon glass. Yeah. I mean, this technically fits at chapter 2 where we saw the meteor shards, right? It was the same kind of like black glass nonsense. I mean, it's like, ultimately it's whatever. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me ultimately, like what method they come up with to defeat it. Like, what matters is that it's going to take the coordinated belief of the people doing it. So if it's the ritual of Chud, or if it's magic dragon glass that when we believe in it, it'll glow and hurt the monster, whatever. It's just like, it just didn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, with the exception of baby Jesus, like, none of this did anything for me. It's just like, okay. And it, like, it's all told, like, it's a very lengthy sequence that's all done in voiceover. And I normally really enjoy voiceover, but I felt like the voiceover here was just kind of, I don't know. It's just like, it feels a little show don't telly at times, where it's like, I wonder if the story would have been served more of just, I was about to say making a whole episode out of this, and then I like immediately regretted that. I was like, no, don't do that. But like, just like, I feel like we never got to know any of the characters in it, so we really didn't care about any of them. And maybe that's not I don't know. It felt like it was too long to not care about any of the people in it. And maybe if you dropped the voiceover and like let us actually live in some of the moments with the characters, you would have cared a little bit more. I don't know.
I love your thoughts on this. I could not agree more because I have a huge problem with this. And it's crushing me because last week I made a wish that we would see more Native American representation, and I got my wish, Scott. Yeah. It was great. I was so excited. We have gorgeous details. Oh my gosh, we have great costumes. I like that they gave us a matriarchal tribe where the clan mothers are summoned, and we've got the warrior queen, who is, what's her name? I wrote it down, Seski, and her daughter, Nakani. I love this little lore we have, but you're absolutely correct. And they teach us in fiction school do not use voiceover. It has to be done really, really well. And when it is done well, it's a beautiful thing and it can add and augment a story so wonderfully. But it's so easy to screw it up. And that's what happened here. We have too much voiceover. It doesn't work. Also, this info dump, you're dead on with your accuracy. And I'm so glad you said it because I felt I didn't like this sequence, even though I loved all the native stuff. I have such a huge problem with how it was carried out. Because the way they went about it, it's just there's something not working. And the voiceover is part of it. It's too long, but simultaneously not long enough. Yeah, this is why I am so stuck on this episode, Scott. I feel so lost in the woods with how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
The highs are high, like you said, and the lows are low because I just feel so lost.
Yeah. I mean, I like the thematic stuff. Like, again, like we joked around the white people came and ruined everything, but I do like that a lot of the show is about the, oppression and a group of people coming and taking over, like taking over your land, taking over your rights. Like I like all those ideas. Like outside of the metal baby Jesus moment, I really like Pennywise being a priest. Like that's how he appears to this woman, because that's the thing she fears most is Catholicism. It works very, very well. But yeah, I just like like clunky is like a word I use too often and don't ever really like back up with any kind of specific instance. But like I really struggled with this being like the climax of the episode, essentially, and essentially the climax of the first half of the story is that like this is what we're all leading to. This is going to define what the show is going to be from here on out. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's just a preference thing again, right? Like I'll fall back on that as just like I just don't care. I just don't care about this. Like I've never like lost 1 ounce of sleep wondering about the further enriched like story of the mythology of it, and like how he interacted over the millennia or whatever, like, and the rules of it. Like the rules are nebulous in the book because like the kids don't even know for sure if they're what their understanding is correct, and that's part of the fear. That's part of the scary part of it. Like this is kind of an aliens conversation again, where like I really love the movie Aliens, but like the idea that we have no idea what this thing is and what the rules of it even are and what can and can't kill it and what will and won't work is part of what makes it scary. And I don't know, I'd like just the surprise moments in the book where they do something and it actually works, like the eat battery acid moment in the book is so awesome because it's like what huh, that holy shit. And it just feels like now it's just gonna be like, I got this rock, I'm gonna hold it and the rock's gonna glow and you're gonna go Arr! And then like I don't know, I know I'm being like a brat here, but like I just think it's kind of lame.
I'll be a brat with you because I agree. And I think as readers of the novel, we are held by a master storyteller who gave us a world that we lived in so effortlessly and so beautifully that the things we did not know enhanced our journey. Like you said, it becomes scarier, it becomes more unpredictable because we don't have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a visual medium with this show who's shoving the answers down our throat. And like you said, it's not doing anything. It's not, at least readers of the novel, speaking for you and me, it's not enhancing our experience. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, those who have only watched the movies, perhaps they're getting a lot out of it. And I'm thrilled. Good for you. I'm glad that that's a satisfying experience for you. But listen to me, babies. When you are a Stephen King reader, when you take that journey into his writing, well, it's a different thing entirely. And you will identify with what Scott and I are saying about you don't need the answers because it's actually better without them.
Yeah. It just, for me, ultimately comes down to like so much of what I like about the show is the things that have nothing to do with any of this, and it's just like the exploration of Derry continues to. I was struggling with it at first. I've really come around on it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying seeing the characters interact and seeing the characters interact with Derry. But the Pennywise piece of it has just been like, yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at. I mean, I'm curious to see what we do over these next 4 episodes. If maybe like this is just something the show like felt like it had to do. We have to get all this down on paper. We have to establish it because we maybe felt we needed some motivating force, some MacGuffin, some goober, to motivate our characters and have them chasing something. And now that we've defined that and shaped it, we can just kind of move on from it. That's what I'm hoping. Like, again, ultimately, like if the losers like trap Pennywise again using these magical rocks, whatever. Like the thing I'm going to care about is them in that moment, not the magical rocks and whatever ritual they're doing, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Galoo.
I am Galoo. All roads lead back to Galoo. Oh dear. Yeah, I like that. I think that's really well said. I am also a viewer who does not need Pennywise the clown. I identify and I feel so bad for the Pennywise fans out there, Scott. I feel really sad that they have been taken for a ride and their pockets have been emptied, sadly. I feel really bad that they are not getting the Pennywise that they're seeking. I'm fine, you're fine, because we're focused on Derry. And the show is, like you said, doing a really good job of providing us some gorgeous storylines with great characters who each episode are giving us these wonderful performances that are so awesome. So I'm enjoying that as well.
Yeah, all the Hanlons, Dick Halloran. Dick Halloran just kind of came out of nowhere for me. He's in like the background of the first episode, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Dick. Yeah, but I didn't even know like Chris Chalk. I've never seen this guy in anything, I don't think, and he's like, holy shit, he's awesome. He's so good.
One of your Kingslingers buddies, Karen, she reached out to me and she told me that he is in The Newsroom on HBO, which I remember seeing him in the first season, but it's been a long time since I've watched that show. But Karen said he is all throughout that show and he's extraordinary. So maybe we could watch that.
Interesting. I definitely watched that. Yeah, 24 episodes. Maybe he just looks really different. And cool. I liked that show.
Yeah, apparently he's in there.
He's also in Godzilla vs. Kong. He plays Ben. Don't know who that is.
I love Godzilla.
Ooh, he's Lucius Fox in Gotham.
Oh.
They made 78 episodes of that show. Holy shit.
Oh, dang.
Wasn't that the Batman prequel? They made 100 episodes. Okay, we're getting off here a little bit. Just looking at IMDb now. When you start just looking at IMDb, then you know it's time to wrap up the podcast. So, is there anything else you wanted to say about this episode?
I did want to ask a quick question about if you think they're going to keep Maturin very subtle. Because in It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, we get turtle Easter eggs throughout. And then in this show, we've got Bert the Turtle, we have the turtle charm. But like you said, we keep circling around. Like these cast members on podcasts and on behind the scenes footage are saying the children of Maturin. Like that's a huge statement.
Maturin, and they're putting these things in turtle shells, right? But they're not saying like why.
Right. And so we just had this huge origin creation myth in this episode. So I'm wondering, do you think they're going to keep Maturin really unspoken and really subtle the entire rest of the show? Or do you think they are going to go whole hog and we're going to be introduced to the concept of what the turtle is?
I think Rose is going to say children of Maturin at some point in the show. I don't think they're going to like I don't think we're going to get Maturin as we get in the book. Like I don't think we're gonna like say this is the cosmic turtle that holds up the world, and I don't think we're gonna go that far with it. I think it's gonna be like a vague force or belief that empowers these people and helps them in their goals.
Final question. We have a scene with Rose and Charlotte at the beginning of this episode. And they have a really nice chit chat. It establishes a friendship. They're kind of forming this little bond, talking about the challenges they have with the men in their life. For the most part, it's a little unspoken. Then we have this Native American origin story where it's the women who go into the cave, and it's the women who are the head of the. So do you think there's like do you think something's gonna happen with that in terms of, I don't know. I just found some parallels in this episode that I thought were pretty cool.
Yes, I do. That's a great point. I meant to talk about that scene with Rose, and I just completely forgot it. I mean, I love that scene because these are two incredibly great characters getting together.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind that the reason for them getting together was a bit contrived. Of like,
was he delivering furniture? What the hell?
What did she get from? Was the piano? I can't even remember what she bought from the place, but she delivers it, and like, I thought I'd bring it, and then Tanya like lifts a lamp out of it. Was it just a lamp? It's actually not as contrived as you think it is, because I also think the reason why Rose is doing this is because she knows that Charlotte's husband is in the military and she's fishing for information.
Smart.
I do think she's trying to. She does kind of like very cleverly push the conversation for how is your husband adjusting, gets the conversation to start talking about that. So I think she is fishing for information, but I do think having these two characters connect and bond in this way, I think is the show doing something, and I think that's going to pay off in an interesting way in the future. Because I mean, we definitely have a lot of power of women characters circling around this thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, for sure.
Me too. I'm really into it. That was a chunk of the episode I really enjoyed, and I liked what they're teasing out with that.
Yeah. Did you see anything else in the next 3 weeks preview that's worth talking about? Like we talked about the Marge with the eye patch. I actually think they showed the black spot burning briefly in one of the things, which leads me to believe that they are assuming that everyone knows that this is where we're going, if they're going to show it in a trailer that the black spot is on fire.
Right? It's either going to be a dream sequence and they'll fake us out, or it really will burn and we only got black spot for a few episodes. So unknown there. So I know you said you stopped the footage so you wouldn't be spoiled. Yeah. So this is a tiny spoiler, but Pennywise, we see him, and it's Skarsgård.
Yeah.
And he I don't know if you caught that part, but he has red war paint on the bottom half of his face, and it's not blood, it's war paint, and he looks like the warrior chief who we just saw, only hers was inverted and it was on her forehead. And so I'm wondering if he's like mocking the tribe, or if they're doing something like that. And so I just was very intrigued by some Pennywise design elements right away. I was like, oh, what does that mean? So got me excited.
No, 100% that's what he's doing. I didn't see that, but yeah, that's very Pennywise to specifically mock. He's probably like talking to Rose in that moment.
Oh, good call.
So yeah, we are getting him, right? It's going to happen. Like they didn't just do a Pennywise front-facing marketing campaign and then make him not actually ever appear in the show. This is going to happen eventually. I don't know if it's going to be next week or not. But we are getting there eventually.
We are. I'm just very concerned. I really hope they don't bamboozle the viewers, Scott, and we get like one episode with Skarsgård and it's like 5 minutes and that's it. I know people that would burn the place down. Like they would actively riot. So I'm hoping that we get him in a few episodes, because he is pretty cool. And now there's so much buildup that now I'm like rooting for the Pennywise fans out there.
Yeah, it's so interesting because like credits are kind of a weird thing where, like, if you look at IMDb right now, it says Bill Skarsgård, 6 episodes, Pennywise. Like, has he appeared in 6 episodes? Well, I mean, he talked in the last one. Does that give a credit if you have an unseen speaking line? Yeah, I think it does. So, like, does he get credit for appearing in this episode? Maybe. I think it depends. I don't know. So we got 4 episodes left. He hasn't been seen in person yet. So I don't know.
Well, I hope. I'm excited. I'm getting excited to see him now. And I'm not a Pennywise girl. I like him. He's fine. Mm-hmm. But I'm not in it to win it with the clown.
I do also just want to say before we go, they introduced the idea that some of these kids killed in the theater are not actually dead. I should rephrase that. Lily says, we don't actually know that Maddie is dead, is what Lily says.
Dang. Yeah. Good point.
And I bring this up only to just leave the door open for the idea that the big theory that everyone has that either Phil or Teddy or I guess Maddie is not actually dead. The thing I return to again is the same thing we talked about last week, but like to what end? Like what would the point be? Is it just like, is this kid just going to be like floating in the cistern, like looking at the deadlights, like type of alive? Like it's very possible, and this could be exactly where we're going. I just ultimately don't understand what the point of it would be if we do it that way. Like, because that's not Pennywise. Like, he doesn't like the idea of capturing Bev in the first one was very specific to like, I'm doing this because I know you other losers will come down here if I do this. Right. Like he doesn't just typically like capture people and then just like they're not cows. Like, he doesn't like milk them. He eats them. He eats their fear. He eats them and kills them, and he tosses away the garbage. Like, that's what he does.
Yep. The Great Galoo. I think I hate bare it.
Necessities in the back.
Right. 100%. But I hate what it does in the mouth when you're saying this word. It is really annoying. I don't like it. It feels like we're pausing to say the word glue, Glue, but we're like glue. I hate it. It's a very ugly feeling in my mouth. I'm very upset.
And this is when we get an email that says we've just insulted someone's most powerful spirit.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Please forgive us for our ignorance if it is a very culturally sensitive or significant word to you.
I did Google it, and I mean, again, when I Google it, you get a lot of articles about this show, and then you get Galoo recycling is shaping tomorrow, a leader in European metal recycling, turning industrial and consumer waste into raw materials to support a cleaner, circular world.
Hey-o. Good job, Galoo. Dude, right. You need, oh my God, final thoughts, Scott. You need Galoo merch on Duke.
What would that even be?
I don't know. You've got the most creative listeners. You guys run with it. Make it hilarious. Oh, we need baby Jesus emerging from the chest cavity of the priest. And we need Galoo somehow incorporated into that. And I will buy the first print.
I feel like the sacrilege is at an all-time high.
Yeah, you might have to find a way to like cleverly make it inside jokey. Just like a baby exploding out. It doesn't have to be the Christ child. It could be some other interpretation. But we'll know the truth.
Yeah, we will. In conclusion,
I can't believe what we talked about this episode. I can't believe what had to come out of our mouth to digest this episode.
It's been a wild, wild ride. But in conclusion, welcome to Derry. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It is. I mean, I ain't bored. Bored.
I mean, I am having a great time. I'm having a great time. I know it seems like we like give the show a lot of shit, and we do. I think it's all fair. I think there's things about the show that I don't think are that great. But I'm having an awesome time with it. I really am. I eagerly await every single episode. I'm so excited to watch it on a Sunday night, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. 4 episodes to go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, folks, that is going to do it for us this week. Next week, episode 5, aptly titled Neibolt Street. Not doing any confusing long we're just going to Neibolt Street. That's what we're doing. Let's
go.
Who's going to die? Is anyone going to die next week? You have a prediction?
I don't. I feel like since our cemetery scene, I have low stakes. I think all these kids have plot armor. I think everybody's safe. I really think no one will die, Scott.
Okay. I think General Shaw is not making it out of the season alive. I don't think he's going to die next week, but I think he's a dot. Yeah, he's not going to make it.
Good call. Good call. I like this. I hope that there's a connection with Rose in the final moments. Nice and romantic.
Do you think the show has been kind of cleverly in the background setting up the Cuban Missile Crisis? Like, we keep hearing reports on the radio of...
Oh my God, Scott. Okay. Sorry.
Do you think we're doing something with that?
Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that up because I think so. Okay, so I was recording some thoughts about the episode earlier today, and you remember the scene where we're seeing Duck and Cover, the Bert the Turtle videos. Yeah. And so I know that they're doing a lot of turtle Easter eggs, but I don't know, dude. Like, I think it's something more than that. The Duck and Cover is a very loud message. Mm-hmm. I think you're right, and something's brewing with that.
It just like there's part of this that could absolutely just be like scene setting and time setting, that we are reminding people we are in the 1960s. It's 1962. The Cuban Missile Crisis and the Cold War and the ramp up to all this was very scary and on everyone's minds at the time. But it just like the fact that we keep doing it, and it just like after every episode, it's not every episode, but we're advancing the ramp up to the Cuban Missile Crisis slowly over time, like in the background of the show. When you do that kind of thing in TV writing, it's usually a Chekhov's gun situation. You're setting this up and reminding people of it over the course of the episodes to pay it off in some way. I don't know what that could ultimately be. Maybe it is just literally like the Cuban Missile Crisis breaks out, and like suddenly the US government is much more like, we need to get this fucking Pennywise now. Get the glue. Like, go. Like, we're on the clock now. Maybe it's just that. I don't know. But I do think it's more than just like environment setting at this point.
I'm with you. I'm glad you mentioned it because my spidey sense is a tingling with that.
I will say, I know the Duck and Cover and Bert the Turtle stuff was all real. It's just like the most hilarious thing. I understand we wanted to feel in control about this real and present danger of an A-bomb, but the idea of like an A-bomb going off and hiding under your desk is like the dumbest. It's the dumbest thing. It's so dumb.
It's pretty bad.
But hey, it made people feel safe, I guess. So
yep. The nuclear blast will not touch you under your desk, Scott.
I mean, it's sturdy desks, right? Pretty sturdy. Yeah.
I wish the video was so cute though, Scott. It's like we don't all have shells like Bert. I was like, this is so precious.
Can I again, I know this was real. I'm not insulting the show by this, but like Bert the Turtle, it bothers me. Couldn't we have done Bert the Turt? Or like Bertle the Turtle? Like, can we like go one way or another with it? Like, it's just, it doesn't roll off the tongue. It's the glue of anti-atomic bomb propaganda.
Bert is the glue. You're right. It's a little clunky with a capital C. I like this. Bertle the Turtle. Oh, that's cute. Bertle's so much cuter.
See?
I love it.
Come on, United States government.
So good. That's it. At 2 a.m., I'm going to roll over in my bed and think Bert is the glue.
Oh my gosh.
That has happened to me once or twice with these wonderful show moments.
All right, folks. We want to know from you. how you feel about Galoo and all the stuff. So please reach out to us. You can find us at kingslingerspod@gmail.com, on X at kingslingerspod, r/doof media on Reddit. You can also just comment on the episode on YouTube or wherever else, and we will see it. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Be nice to me. I love the show. Stop telling me I don't like the show. I like the show, okay? I also think it's really silly.
It is
I do want to say the negative enforcement that making stuff on the internet gives you is very difficult to handle sometimes, because we got a lot of interaction and comments on our first 2 episodes, which I think were pretty critical. Then episode 3, we had basically nothing but good things to say about the show, and we got way less comments. So it's like the reinforcement here is we have to really dive into making fun of Galoo as much as possible, to make you guys comment more. So if maybe if we say nice things, if you could have still comment on the show.
What I'm hearing from you listeners is you want us to hate.
Yes.
You want us to hate.
But not because they like us hating it, but because they get mad at us for hating it. So it's like hate listening, which is, as we all know, the best kind of listening.
Isn't that like a rule somewhere in the Sith instruction manual? Like, aren't we just being Sith instructors, Scott? Join us.
I didn't know the Sith had instructors. I didn't think it was so, like structured.
That's
like
true. That. Yeah, it's true. It's just apprentice and master. Yeah. But I'm the apprentice. Scott is the master.
I don't think that's true.
I am learning to channel my anger. No, I'm hearing that they want to hate. They want us to hate, sort of, kind of.
Yeah. Our hate fuels them in their hatred of us. Which in turn fuels us. It's like Derry and Galoo. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
And we're all benefiting. I hate that I've said Galoo 47 times in the last 20 minutes.
Is it the new pickle dad? Is it? I think Galoo, the fact that this sentence exists in our reality is nuts. Is Galoo the new pickle dad? It's pretty great.
You know what we need to make merch-wise? We need to make a pickle dad shirt that's like a pickleball shirt.
Cute. So clever. I love all this.
But like no one's going to get it. But I won't care.
No. Super good. Super good.
All right. Let's end the episode. Kim, where can people find you when you're not here making fun of Galoo?
Hello, everyone. What a joy it's been hanging out. I am on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you can find your podcast. You can find my show, The Year of Underrated Stephen King, and then you can also find some extra special fun episodes, shorter and sweeter and more unfiltered, on The Dance Macabre with Kim C, which is patreon.com/dance with Kim C, which is dance with an S. I'm over there partying a lot more than on the main podcast, as my schedule's a little busy. So it's really fun over there. I would love to have you guys check it out. But thanks so much for listening and being so nice to me as a guest of Kingslingers.
I am loving it. Thank you again for taking the time. This has been great. And we will keep going. 4 more episodes to go. Let's do it.
Love it.
I gotta say, I'm having trouble convincing Matt to watch the show.
Oh no.
Because he's like, is it good? And I go, yeah. And it just, my voice does that. just like that.
That was amazing. How would we sell this to Dr. Freeman? I would say it is really worth your time in terms of, I would love to know what you think, Dr. Freeman. I'd love your insight.
I did tell him about the xenomorph baby Jesus, and he was pretty into it. So that might be the final thing that gets him tuning in.
We're in. Oh man. I would love to hear just a couple sentences of Dr. Freeman on this wonderful show.
Yeah, we'll get him there eventually.
Yes.
But until then, we'll be back next week for episode 5, Nebolt Street, and every episode after that until we get to the end of the show. Right around Christmas time, I think.
Ride or die.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Long days and pleasant nights.
And may you have twice the number.